Oh yeah, back here with new rock stars, man. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, your host, Red Sky Dragon Squad, bitch. And like I said, we back with new rock stars, man. Going over this Avengers Infinity War trailer breakdown and Infinity Storm breakdown. Yeah, man. The trailer was cool. I mean, it wasn't like super litty two titties, but I mean, it was pretty cool. Nice trailer nonetheless. That's some fire shit. Much different from the D23 one, D23 one. I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna break down that too. I mean, probably not, cause this. I don't know. Will they get in trouble for that? I don't know. But anyway, man, let's hop into the bitch. Let me sip some more water. Gotta get hydrated. Yeah, man. Ear to a spectacles run us all. See what this shit's talking about, though, man. Let's get it. Damn, man.
Hi, I'm Eric Voss. And
Boss, sipping on Boss.
Finally released a trailer for Avengers: Infinity War. And sure, maybe on the surface it doesn't tell us more than what we already knew. Purple Bruce Willis is coming.
They Captain America shit.
And the Chris's will out-wise-ass each other. Looking closely at this, frame by frame, with our obsessive...
The Captain America shit look kind of litty, though.
You can actually start to piece together how Thanos' plot to gather the Infinity Stones and attack all the Marvel heroes might go down. So join me in my insanity. And heads up, if any of my predictions end up being right, possible spoiler warning. Okay, let's get started.
There was an idea
That nigga crying and shit, that's tough.
to bring together a group of remarkable people.
I already seen a breakdown video. Did the English lady?
Joined by Tony Stark and
But
later Vision,
I
Thor,
follow
and
rock
Black
stars,
Widow to echo
so that's
Fury's
why I
line
waited.
from the Avengers when he aimed to bring the team's most opposed
That's why I'm
rivals
watching
together at the darkest hour. The death, well, the sort of death of Agent Coulson. So repurposing the quote here makes a promise of what this movie will be. Once again, the Avengers will assemble at a dire moment, but also in a way that might close the door that Nick Fury opened all those years ago. That might be why Tony Stark looks so grief-stricken here. His expression suggests that the Scarlet Witch-induced nightmare scenario from Age of Ultron of his fellow Avengers slaughtered, or maybe just passed out after Avenger, is coming true. Now, at first I thought Stark was just holding his own dirty hand here, but it also kind of looks like he's clutching a different hand of a fallen friend. Whose hand is it? Cap?
That's kind of
Scott
gay.
Lang? Yeah, it's probably Cap. Looking
Yeah,
closely
Scott
at the other
Lang.
visuals here, the planet here has an orangish red turbulent surface with lightning storms. And that's not the Earth I remember. That's because I don't think this is Earth.
Yeah, I
Check
don't think
out.
it is
There
either.
are definitely two stars in this solar system. To me, a more likely scenario is that this is Xandar, the home of the Nova Corps in the
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Xandar is also part of a trinary star system. Remember, the end of the first Guardians movie showed the Infinity Stone in that movie, their purple-hued Power Stone contained in the orb, was locked away inside the Nova Corps' vault. Now, later in this trailer, we'll see Thanos adding the blue Space Stone to his gauntlet, and the Power Stone is already there. So
Wow.
I'm thinking Thanos' first stop is Xandar, and he's gonna wreck this place. In fact, the area in the shadow here could be the ruins of that main urban center. Now, for comic readers, this would make sense, because Xandar has a long history of getting their asses handed to him. Actually, it's a good
I
time
don't
to
know.
explain the comic origin of this movie. Marvel is adapting the Infinity Gauntlet comic series, along with the sequel miniseries Infinity War, maybe also Infinity Crusade. It centers around Thanos, a super powerful being.
One's supposed to
who
get
is in
Fox,
love
bro.
with
It's
the
over.
embodiment of death, known as Mistress Death. So he goes on an epic killing spree, leading him to assemble the 6 Infinity Gems in his Infinity
Raven?
Gauntlet,
Raven, you in the wrong
basically
comic, my
becoming
nigga. What you
master
doing?
of the entire universe.
Traitor.
Of course, his plot gets foiled and undone in ways that are a little too complicated to get into.
Squirrel
Obviously,
Girl.
the Marvel
Where's Squirrel
Cinematic
Girl?
Universe has been setting up these events for quite some time, as far back as Thanos' cameo in the post-credit scene of the first Avengers, when he grinned at the prospect of courting death. Yeah, I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
And already we're seeing some possible versions of comic book events. Bruce Banner has crash-landed into the Sanctum Sanctorum as Doctor Strange and Wong look down at him concerned. In the comics, Silver Surfer does this.
Yeah,
but
I've seen that in
Silver
the other
Surfer's
Easter egg
currently a
video.
Fox property like Fantastic Four and the X-Men, so unfortunately they won't be part of this adaptation. For now. Hurry, Disney-Fox merger, there's still time! Let's move on.
There's still time.
To see if we could become something more.
Throw my nigga Quicksilver in that bitch. 2 Quicksilvers?
We could
It's
fight
over.
the battles
that they never could.
In this
Sexy
section,
ass.
Vision and Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, are continuing their domestic romance that we saw in Civil War, but this time Vision takes a more human form, something looking a bit more like Paul Bettany. Amazing CGI there. Kidding aside, I'm sure Bettany was thrilled to be able to do one scene without the crimson makeup. In the comics, Vision has gone under the more human-looking alter ego of Victor Shade. Maybe he's doing that here, or maybe he's using his powers to take a more easy-on-the-eyes appearance, like Mystique does. Or this could be a mental projection created by Wanda. Whatever this is, notice how the Mind Stone continues to glow on his forehead, and I like how in this look it appears to smolder underneath the surface of the skin like an ember. This depicts Vision's Infinity Stone like a furnace that powers him, but also an inorganic part of him trying to burn its way out. Next, we see Thor, his back turned to us, looking out a series of portholes. Now, we find out at the end of this trailer that these are the dirty, uncleaned windows of the Milano, the ship of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Looking closely, outside those windows appear to be the same orangey planet surface that we saw in that opening shot. Perhaps the Milano is surveying the ruins of Xandar and realizing Thanos is in possession of the Power Stone now. And then we see what looks like an emotional reunion between Bruce Banner and Black Widow. Remember, Age of Ultron left off with Hulk hanging up on Natasha as he departed Earth on the Quinjet, a transmission that Thor Ragnarok recently reminded us about. Ooh, by the way, does anyone else think Natasha's about to brush her hand across that outreached palm of the Hulkbuster armor there, like she did with Hulk in Age of Ultron? I still can't get over that. And yes, that does look like Stark's Hulkbuster armor that we did see in Age of Ultron, and the background of the shot looks like the African nation of Wakanda.
Like that nigga look old as shit now.
Some later shots in the trailer actually give us
For real
about these details, so let's move on.
If he had aged with like how Scarlett Johansson did, you know, still look pretty decent, it'll be alright, but that nigga old now. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so after the Avengers theme and the Marvel fanfare, this trailer jumps to New York City, featuring Stark's Avengers Tower visible in the fog there. Now remember, Stark was decommissioning Avengers Tower in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Fantastic Four getting that bitch.
Upstate, so that might explain why he's caught off guard in the city now, forced to regroup at Strange's Sanctum on Bleecker Street. In this shot of Wong, Strange, Banner, and Stark, notice how Stark has a small glowing square on his palm there. Now, at first I thought this was just part of his tech, like a hand repulsor, but looking closely, that looks a lot like that sold only in China Vivo phone that he and Cap used in Civil War. Perhaps Stark has tried to connect with Cap on a private line to warn him about the trouble.
The cell phone. I've seen the other video.
Threatening voiceover, we get this shot of Peter Parker's arm hairs sticking straight up. This is almost certainly Peter's Spidey sense. We never got to see him making use of his Spidey sense in Homecoming, but the director assured fans that this version of Spider-Man does possess it. I love how Infinity War conveys Spidey sense as a natural, spur-of-the-moment instinct for Peter. It's a kind of nervous reaction we would all have, except triggered by super sensory perception instead of the American Girl store. And this is actually grounded in real science. Spider-Man's Spidey sense comes from a spider's actual ability to sense vibration through tiny hairs that cover their bodies. Way to make this a teachable moment, Russo brothers.
Yes, science!
I also just love the visual of Thanos' mysterious giant ring hovering over Manhattan. With it hanging in the fog like that, it reminds me a lot of the movie Arrival with the massive shell-shaped structures that hovered around the world. I think Infinity War
they always have big structures in these type of movies. There's always some big ass structure, bro.
Get a closer look at this thing in the next section.
Always.
Dread it. Run from it.
Wow.
Destiny still arrives.
Okay, here a close-up of Thanos' device shows us that it's way more mechanical than I would have expected. Compared to the shiny, futuristic tech that we've seen in the MCU with the Asgardians or the Sovereign or the Wakandans, this looks much more retro Star Wars. It's almost like the gears of a roller coaster, like that Ring of Fire carnival ride, which, according to urban legends, was probably even more deadly than this thing is. It also reminds me of the rings of the wormhole device in
get on that shit.
which I've been weirdly bringing up a lot lately. It just makes me feel like this device could open up a cosmic portal for Thanos to arrive through. Whatever it seems to be associated with fire and floating debris in the city below. Down on the street level, we get a better look at Stark, and notice how he has a new arc reactor embedded in his chest. That's interesting because remember, Stark had his chest reactor surgically removed at the end of Iron Man 3 and beamed it at some SEALs. I'm wondering if this new arc reactor is part of the bleeding edge armor from the Civil War comics. Fans have been bringing this up over and over again, hoping that we'll see it in every new MCU movie. But it's based on tiny nanobots that live in Stark's blood and bleed out of his skin, assembling armor around around him wherever he is. But I don't know, another big chunky chest nuke doesn't really seem to go with discreet bleeding edge armor, so we'll see. Next, we see someone stepping over corpses. Now, the editing here makes it seem like this is Loki handing off the Tesseract to Thanos. But if you look closely, these shots are actually all from different angles, so I'm gonna sleuth out the truth here. But real quick, big thanks to Mercari for sponsoring this video. Mercari is a free app. You can actually get it by clicking our download link in the description below. Basically, you create an account and you can be a buyer and or a seller. You can declutter your life and put whatever stuff you have up there. You sell it and you just print out a label and ship and make some sweet, sweet cash. And yeah, you can very easily search for stuff to buy too. All you have to do is plug in any old search term like say Avengers. And bam, I just bought a Great Vision Funko Pop to remind me of sweeter times when the Mind Stone was still firmly in his forehead. And it's not just toys and collectibles. You can buy and sell anything at bargain rates. Clothes, cookware, and in my case, some rad BB-8 swim trunks. For real guys, just download, shop, and sell, and put your holiday shopping in Mercari's hands. It just makes it so easy. Okay, back to these Loki shots. First, these shoes and wardrobe where the person stepping over the body doesn't belong to Loki. Looking closely, that's actually Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw belongs to the Black Order, the group of henchmen who serve Thanos. The corpse beneath looks similar to the garb worn by the Asgardian refugees at the end of Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. So I do think this scene with Loki
all the Asgardians died. So what the?
That's just what? A continuation of the post-credit scene after Ragnarok that showed Thanos' ship, the Sanctuary 2, dropping in on Thor and Loki's ship. Remember, during
that's kind of fucked up.
Ragnarok, it was implied that Loki snatched the Tesseract from Odin's vault, and I theorized that Loki actually set up this interception by Thanos' forces to present the Tesseract to him, fulfilling his promise from the Avengers and endearing himself to Thanos. And speaking of that mad titan, we get a good look at his mug as he arrives through this portal. But I'm actually more interested in where he is. By the look of the background behind him, that architecture looks very similar to Wakanda from the Black Panther footage. In fact, lots of footage from this trailer suggests we are in store for a major battle sequence between the Avengers and Thanos' army in Wakanda. And to me, that is a pretty strong indicator that Wakanda is the location of the final, yet to be revealed Infinity Stone, the Soul Stone. After it didn't show up in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Thor Ragnarok, many of us had theorized that it could have been with Heimdall, but if that's still the case, Ragnarok missed a pretty big opportunity to whip it out. Black Panther is the only remaining MCU movie to come out between now and Infinity War, and I'm betting we will see this Soul Stone in Wakanda. Perhaps the Soul Stone is how T'Challa communes with the Panther spirits, which we saw a glimpse of in the Black Panther trailer. Let's move on.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses.
Engage all defenses.
And get this man a shield.
Okay, next up we get this big reveal of Spider-Man now deciding to wear the new tech-heavy armor that Stark offered him at the end of Homecoming. I guess the sight of a big purple demigod dropping in his friendly neighborhood was enough for him to wet through his old one. We still don't know what all this suit is fully capable of. I love the eyes light up blue.
Yeah, like what kind of capabilities does that have that the other one don't have?
That we saw in the Civil War comics. Design-wise, the Iron Spider is kind of a fusion of Iron Man's and Peter Parker's suits. It has additional appendages called Waldos that make Spider-Man look and function truly arachnid. It's very cool. Meanwhile, Thor appears in a different ring-shaped contraption, holding parts of it together with his body. His move here could be a callback to Cap in Civil War when he pulled that helicopter back on the roof. Now, if the ring we saw over Manhattan was a portal, I'm wondering if Thor's ring here could be the other end of it. Like maybe Thor is trying to block it from opening further or letting anything through. Then we get a few quick shots of this mysterious figure tossing a spear at another figure in shadow who catches it. Now it's hard to tell, but the first one is Proxima Midnight, another Black Order henchman.
She looks sexy right there.
Of course, Captain America, but he looks different. Obviously, there's the woodland creature on his face, but also he no longer wears the classic stars and stripes. What's the deal? That's because Cap is still on the run, an enemy of the country whose values he used to embody. The darker colors could be influenced by the nomad version of Cap in the comics. Now, the Winter Soldier and Civil War storylines were influenced more so by the Man Without a Country series in the 90s, which seems to be continuing here. Now, T'Challa has the best line of this trailer, ordering, "Get this man a shield." Now, he's calling back the end of Civil War when Cap's shield was left behind in Siberia after his brawl with Iron Man, and we'll see what new shield
he fucked this shit up.
Now, before I move on, we get this shot of Iron Man's Hulkbuster armor from this Wakanda battle sequence. Now, notice the way the suit moves. It leaps like a beast, almost unsure of how to control the repulsors. This isn't at all how Stark looked when he operated the Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron. He was totally
Damn.
control as usual. I think this is Hulk or Banner in the suit. Part of the reason I think this is recently some descriptions of Infinity War Lego sets popped up on a Russian website describing, quote, Bruce Banner's Hulkbuster. Now, obviously,
Really?
we can't trust any sources from Russia these days, and I don't know
Wow,
why
that's fucked
Hulk
up.
would need a Hulkbuster if he can just Hulk himself. But if it is true, that might be why we saw Banner fiddling with that Hulkbuster arm earlier. Like, perhaps in this movie, for some reason, he struggles to trigger his power. No sweat, Bruce. It happens to a lot of guys. Let's move on.
Wow. Rock this shit. Damn.
Isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
Okay, some big
Gosh, that slut.
Look at these nasty four.
Look like slump booty.
These are Outriders. In the comics, they're genetically engineered parasite assassins. Outriders are telepathic too. They can read the minds of victims by sinking their hand into their temples, and they report their findings back to the Black Order for Thanos. Now we'll see how or if the telepathy comes into the movie. Here they appear to be more beastly infantry-level foot soldiers. And as Thanos slams Spider-Man to the ground, he says,
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe.
interesting word choice there. Balancing. It's almost like Thanos views his aggression the same way Darth Vader's rise to power could have been interpreted as bringing balance to the Force. Like Vader, Thanos is kind of a lawful evil who seeks ultimate control in an otherwise chaotic universe. Next is, to me, the most heart-wrenching shot of the trailer, Vision getting his Mind Stone clawed out of his head. Or maybe it doesn't look like they get it all the way out. Check out the scepter that's being used. Now that's not Loki's scepter, which was the source of Vision's Mind Stone to begin with. Instead, the scepter belongs to Corvus Glaive, another member of the Black Order. On the left side of him is Proxima Midnight again. These two are married. Next, we see the shot of Thanos with his gauntlet that I mentioned earlier, adding the Space Stone along with the Power Stone. 2 out of 6. By the way, the other two that I haven't mentioned yet in this video are the Reality Stone, which takes the form of the red ether that we saw in Thor: The Dark World. Last we saw that, it was brought to the Collector for safekeeping. And of course, the Green Time Stone, which rests in the Eye of Agamotto around Doctor Strange's neck. The Russo brothers have described Infinity War as, in part, a heist movie, with Thanos orchestrating elaborate plots to steal each Infinity Stone. There's also what looks like a new design of the Iron Man suit, which has interesting ribbed streak design, similar to streaks in Black Panther's vibranium suit. And even if Stark fused vibranium into that armor, it doesn't make any difference here. Thanos delivers.
What? Nigga, get your little shit slap! Nigga, fuck wrong with you.
You can see a chunk of Iron Man's helmet flying off. Guys, Thanos just
wow,
pushed his
really?
freaking jaw out. Eugh, let's move on.
He should be dead, Loki. High key though. Come on, bro, quit playing.
Okay, here we see more shots of this Wakanda battle, and notice how flanking T'Challa is Mbaku, aka Man-Ape, who has appeared in the Black Panther trailer as a tribal leader who's a rival to T'Challa's rule. And after this shot of Falcon lighting up the battlefield, we get a wonderful slow-motion master.
Come on, bro, like why the fuck this shit fucking up, bro?
Soldier, Black Widow, Captain America, Hulk, Black Panther, Falcon, Okoye, Black Panther's warrior friend from the Dora Milaje, played by Denai Guerrera, Michonne from The Walking Dead, and I'm sure Ant-Man somewhere in the frame. And if you look closely, you can see that Cap is wielding a new type of shield, Wakandan vibranium.
Yeah, Ant-Man,
Vibranium is, of course, the same metal that his classic shield was made out of, so it was generous of Shuri, I assume, T'Challa's tech expert sister, to supply him with these. She sports her own similar gauntlets in Black Panther. Let's move on to this final section.
Who the hell are you guys?
Okay, Thor meets the Guardians of the Galaxy here, officially bringing these delightful oddballs into the main MCU narrative. And the whole gang is there, including Mantis from Volume 2, Star-Lord Peter Quill with some goofy facial hair, and Teenage Groot. Now, from the look of this trailer, this Infinity War appears to have divided the heroes across at least 3 different fronts. There's Wakanda with Team Cap, including Cap, Bucky, Falcon, Black Panther, Hulk, Black Widow, and War Machine. Then there's a New York front with Iron Man, Strange, Wong, Spider-Man, and Banner, at least earlier on. Perhaps also Scarlet Witch and Vision. Maybe we'll also get to see Ant-Man and Hawkeye somewhere in there. And then there's a more cosmic front with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I think we will see these 3 fronts converge into a final battle with Thanos that we've seen only short glimpses of. Given the fiery orange color palette of those shots, I'm wondering if it's the possible Xandar planet from the opening shot. Now, it's here where it seems very likely we will say goodbye to some of our beloved heroes. And that's where I throw it over to you. Who do you think is the most likely Avenger to to die after seeing this trailer? And another question I'm curious to hear your thoughts about: which Avenger do you think will be the most
It's gonna be
effective
Cap,
against
'cause
Thanos? Now, I would say Doctor
that
Strange
nigga,
or Vision,
he trying
since
to
they're
move
packing
on.
their own Infinity
Chris trying to
Stones.
move
But I
on.
have a feeling Scarlet Witch is gonna surprise us with the strongest defense. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet me directly at EAVOS, and follow New Rockstars on Twitter at New Rockstars for updates on our videos. Like and share this video, and subscribe to New Rockstars for interesting, detailed coverage on everything you love, including everything Marvel, Star Wars, and more. And if you really want to help this channel, you can contribute to us on Patreon. Big thanks to all of our donors, especially Kelly Hopper. Thanks for watching. Bye.
All right, man. Let's go wrap it up for that, though, man. But shit, man. Good ass videos always from New Rockstars, man. But trying to see if that's Tony's hand or not. Like, why would he be holding his own hand? Like, I don't know. Shit, but yeah, Cap. We'll see you later, bruh. It's like, it's not gonna be the same without you, bruh. In the DCU, bruh. DCU. Wow. Do not dislike, please. Please don't. Thank you. But yeah, man. This movie gonna be Liddy two titties, bro. I already know. Liddy Viddy two titties. I already know, man. But I can't wait for this shit to come out, man. My birthday month, May, you know, you feel me. Yeah, man. Y'all guys can post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys thought about this, though. Is Thanos gonna get all the stones, or is like, or maybe he's gonna be getting the final one, and them niggas don't let him have it. I wonder who Thanos is going to kill. I know Thanos is going to kill probably more than one person. I mean, it'd be kind of whack if they had that big ass battle and they only killed like one main Avenger. But like, we don't want to see everybody die. Vision, Cap, who else? I don't know. Post your comments down below. Tell what you guys thought about this. Don't leave a like if you enjoy it, bro. Once this deal happens, it might happen at. This might be our Christmas present, bro. At the end of the year, they come to a fucking deal, and then I guarantee in the next Avengers that they like we're going to get them. I wonder if it's going to be a two-part. Well, if they do get it, they should make it a two-part film. But if not, it's whatever. You know, we know we're going to see them. So yeah, man. Post your comments down below. Tell you guys about this stuff. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe. I upload every single day except from Fridays. And for me, I was just Bitch Dragon Squad. Bitch! Signing off. That way, Dexter. Yeah.